Hey, what's going on? Whenever you catch this, you are in for an amazing treat. We got somebody on that's going to be talking about being an author. She's a life coach. She's dope. She's going to help you navigate through some of the difficulties that authors and writers have, but as well giving you some game and practical implications on how to advance your life and go to this next level. So if you're an influencer, if you're a business owner, I believe that everybody needs to have some type of book that they have to give to their audience to leave their legacy with. And this is some of the practical things that we're going to talk about today. So as soon as our guest arrives on, we're going to invite her on so that we can get this conversation started. I hope you guys are enjoying your amazing day. I'm not sure how the weather is, where you're at. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with you, but I want you to be able to smile. I want you to be able to be happy and enjoy your life today. We'll be getting started in just about a minute or so. Just about a minute or so. Gonna rock out with this great interview today. Peace and blessings for those that are just joining. It's gonna be an amazing conversation. I want you to make sure that you're taking notes. If you're somebody that is more auditory, you just feel like you're better at listening and do that. But if you're somebody that needs to be able to go back to the notes that you took and read and refresh your mind and do that as well, because I want you guys to get this game. I want you to go to the next level. I want you to be able to live and walk into the life that you truly deserve. And it's really only with us putting in the work. We're not going to be able to do this amazing goal, achieve this amazing dream without putting in the work. Every single person that you know and love, they put in the work. Every single person that you admire, that you feel is super dope, super great, they had to put in the work. Same thing with you. You're not going to be able to skate around it. I thought that I was someone that could skate around it because I kept thinking I had this great gift to speak. I have this great gift to write. As soon as I put the book out, I'm going to have so much success. And what happens with a lot of authors is that they never reach the pinnacle of their success because they never really put in the work. This is you studying. This is you doing some research. This is you understanding your audience a little bit better. Me as a brand development coach, this is one of the things that I really have as a focal point is you having personal development as a main thing that you're doing within your business. Within your business as a whole, you looking at your processes, your systems, all of these different things in order to go to the next level. You got to be able to tap in and see the benefit of these things because they're going to help you put in the work. You're not going to be able to do it easy. Everybody that feel like they're doing it easy, it's not really working for them. All right, so our guest is here. I just invited her. Hopefully you see that invite. Sometimes it takes a couple times for some reason. All right, it's Instagram tripping again. What's going on here? Okay, I sent the invite. Okay, so as soon as you see that invite pop up, then you just accept it and then you'll be on with me. Another option is you can request to be a part of it. I think it's like the bottom right hand corner for you. But you should see the invite. I've sent it a couple of times now. Let's see. Okay, let's try this again.
Hi. Okay, I'm in.
Okay, awesome. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Could you please tell the people who you are and what you do?
Yes, so my name is Candra Ward. I'm an author coach as well as a certified life coach. And what I do is I teach women how to heal and tell their story and put it in a book and ultimately turn it into a coaching program so they can help others with what they know. So
I
that's,
love that. That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope. So what got you started?
Okay, so you want the long or the short version? All right, so coaching since 2017. And I'm originally from the hair industry. So I've been a licensed cosmetologist and teacher and salon owner for over 25 years. Well, that's my previous life. But around 2012, I started getting the itch of speaking and being an author. That's always been in me. And I started traveling and speaking at around 2012, and I published my first book in 2012. So now I have 19 plus books. And
Wow.
yeah, I'm super excited about it. And, you know, God is just moving my life to higher heights and deeper depths. And, you know, we always have to go through certain things to push us to this next level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy coaching. I enjoy people. I enjoy teaching people how to write their books, how to tell their story, because all of us have a story within us. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
version.
No, I love that. And like kind of walk us through this journey of you writing all these amazing books. Like, you know, for me, I wrote three, right? So I'm not on your level, but I did write three. And through that process of writing three, I got that bug and that itch. I got to get this book out. Once
Yeah.
that first one was done, I felt like I was just rolling. So is
Uh-huh.
that same kind of process for you?
It is. So let me tell you. So it's really unconventional. The first time when I first wrote my first book, it was I started it in 2009 and published in 2012. But let me tell you something. That book was handwritten. I will not tell anybody
Mm,
to handwrite their book, especially in the time that we live in now. But I was able to get my thoughts out on paper when I handwrote. So anyway,
okay.
it took me a minute. And then from there, I wrote my second book by hand. And then, of course, I caught on to the bandwagon and started typing everything. And then I learned how to speak everything. But the process
Mm,
was great. Once I got acclimated to speaking it and then typing it, it was a wrap from there. So they just started
mm,
rolling out. So I
wow.
actually had 10 published books, but the other, well, actually almost 11, but the other books are ebooks. So I combine them all together. But
Gotcha. Gotcha.
one out, it's really simple, especially like some of my books were created through PowerPoints that I wrote when I used to teach. So it's just so many ways that you can get your books out in one day, in a weekend. It doesn't take as long as it used to take, like back in the day.
Okay. So now let me ask you this because a lot of authors will, you know, say, yeah, well, absolutely, Manny. Think about this. When you were writing your first book, right? Handwritten, by the way, because you didn't speak this thing, you didn't use Microsoft Word. You were
Listen,
just like, I'm about to get a pen or a paper, and I don't even know. You might have had one of them old school tinsel pencils, like with the lead. You got to put it back in,
you
so you
gotta,
have to. But through that process, I'm pretty sure that life wasn't totally perfect for you. You had to go through your own things. And I asked this question for the main reason to let authors know that you're not going to have a perfect life while you're writing a book. So don't depend on these excuses to get you that freebie to not do what you're supposed to do.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement. I missed the question. Were you asking me a
Yeah,
question?
yeah. So can you signify and kind of let them know that hey, when I wrote my first and the second one, getting all these ebooks out, I had to push through sometimes. I had to kind of use some willpower. I had to kind of change my mindset around, listen, you are a successful author. I'm about to do this. So can you take us through some of that process?
Yes. So I'm gonna give you one scenario. So my second son, I was writing a novel I was writing two books at that time. So he came home from the hospital. He was about a week old, 2 weeks old. I had him on one breast. I had my computer on the other side, and I was breastfeeding and I was typing with one hand. Okay.
Wow.
So when people say they don't have time, and by the way, not to get too graphic, sometimes
Yeah.
the breastfeeding hurt sometimes. So, I was
Mhm.
and still typing, and you know what I mean? And but I
But
was
thank God that you guys like my wife can do that and I don't have to do it.
yeah.
So I applaud you guys. Thank you.
So, and sometimes we make excuses, but listen, if you are determined to get something done, then you're going to get it done. It doesn't matter what's in the way. So I wrote two books like that actually. Now one book was a little easier because like I said, I had taken some not flash drive, I'm sorry, some PowerPoints, and I combined them together and I created the book. Of course, I added more. So that was kind of easy to put together. But the other one was a 300-page book for hairstylists. That book was like painful to write. Um, and the
Wow.
reason why it was a how-to, right? It was an instructional book, but I made sure that I did not let the breastfeeding stop me, the new mommy stop me, because I had a deadline that I had to get it out. So again, I'm going to repeat myself. It is so much easier to get a book out now that the excuses, they have to go, you know? So a lot of times you think, oh, becoming an author, I have to like set my life aside and I have to give up 6 months. No, not necessarily, because there's two ways to do it. But you have to have the mindset that you want to get it done. Once you create that mindset that you want to get it done, they're going to roll out. Now, I'll give you some tangible things that you can do. When you're creating an author's mindset, a positive author's mindset, and a productive author's mindset, you want to make sure that your atmosphere is conducive for your writing. If your atmosphere is filled with a lot of chaos, if it's filled with a lot of distractions, if your phone is going off every 6 minutes with Instagram posts and Facebook posts and YouTube posts, it's going to distract you. If your house is filled, if your house is not clean, believe it or not, that plays a huge part. If your house is not clean, your dish is not washed, if you have so many things, you're saying yes to so many people, and you're just scatterbrained all over the place, it's not going to be done. I don't care how it is. Another thing I would say, you have to sacrifice something. You do. You have to really fall in love with your craft and with your story and what you're going to share with the world. Because if it's not something that you actually enjoy doing, it is going to be challenging, because your mind is going to continue to tell you, I need to do something else. I need to be watching TV. It's time to eat. You know what I mean? So it's just really a discipline. It's a discipline that we all have to take, regardless of how long it takes you to write the book.
Gotcha. Those are definitely some diamonds and jewels. So when you're working with your clients, would you say that you got to kind of tackle that mindset piece first, way before you even start kind of pushing them?
I want to show you something. Yes. So, and I have to even do it with myself, you know, and I'm
Okay.
transparent. I'm not one of the coaches that say, oh, I have it all together. I'm able to teach you these things because I either dealt with them or are currently dealing with them and trying to get, you know, over them. You know what I mean? In my book, I just
Gotcha.
created a workbook. I just wrote this new workbook. In the beginning, it's nothing but clarity. And I'm only showing because you asked me. It's
Yeah.
all any book that I write, we start with mindset. All of this is mindset questions, clarity questions, to get you to the point to know that you can't start or write anything or coach anybody or do anything without clarity and mindset first. So
Yeah.
yes, mindset is very important in the beginning.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? And it's like that's really the same with everything that I see, Kendra, because I have clients that come to me and say, I want an amazing brand. I want you to market me as the best boutique, the best coach, whatever. And I'm saying, okay, well, do you see yourself as a successful coach? It's like, well, no, I haven't got any clients, but once I get some clients, I'll be able to see that. And I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
them it don't work that way. You got to
It's
be able to see yourself that way first in order
before.
to really start to reprogram your subconscious mind to get to the point where you can actually walk in that. Like,
Yeah.
none of us are able to be successful in any way, shape, or form in any industry if you don't see yourself doing the same way. For me, years ago when I was still working a full-time job, I had to see myself being able to be in that cubicle. If I didn't see myself doing it, I wasn't gonna do it. Just like some of y'all, you advanced to this point where you can't see yourself on the fries. You can't see yourself washing somebody's dishes in the back of their restaurant. That's not you. But can you see yourself as a successful author? Can you see yourself getting book publishing deals? Can you see yourself being interviewed on podcasts because they just want to hear more about your amazing book? If it's hard for you to see, just like Sister saying here, you got to start working on that mindset piece. Let's dig in there a little bit more because I want people to really understand the importance of it. Because I hear people talking about mindset all the time, they think that they can just push it to the side, like I'll handle that later. Can you dig in there a little bit more?
Mindset. It's so many layers to this thing. It's so many layers to mindset. It's funny because in transparent moment, just going back to me growing up as a child, and you know, am I allowed to talk about God and things like that?
Anything you want to. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. Jesus, Jesus,
Okay,
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
because that's me. That's me all day. So just
Mhm.
growing up, you know, God always spoke to me. We all have our different relationships. But just growing up, I knew that the enemy, that's one thing that he would try to plague me with, was mindset. It started as a young age. And, you know, so, and I knew that. So I always battled that growing up, always battled that. To the point, my salon, the name of my salon was Relax Your Mind Hair Studio. I
Wow.
noticed, and the name of my first book is In My Mind. How ironic. And I never paid attention to that
Wow.
until a couple of years ago. I said, everything I did, the word mind was always in that.
Mm.
Subconsciously, I didn't realize that, you know, that was a battle for me. And I was always fighting against that battle. You know, my favorite book from Joyce Myers was The Battlefield of the
Yep.
Mind. I
That
always
book. Yep.
attracted to people that always talked about the mind,
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that was always presented to me as a battle. So anyway,
Yep.
and I'm a believer that, not to give him credit, but I'm a believer that the enemy always attacks you when you're as a child. So he starts as a child, so that's something that you can, you know, fight against and all that coming up. So because his whole purpose is for you not to get to your purpose. And it's not even about you, because he knows that people are attached to you. And I'm going somewhere here. He knows that
Yep.
people are attached to you. So he's trying to stop you in your tracks where you are as a, you know, when you were a child, a teenage adult.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't reach the people that you're supposed to reach, because if he can always keep you in your mind,
Yep.
right? He can always keep you to yourself, always have you thinking, well, I'm not good enough. Nobody wants to hear my story. I'm not good enough to be a coach. I can't write that book. Nobody's going to buy from me. Nobody likes me. I'm not. If he can continuously throw those darts in your mind, you will never succeed to the place that you need to be. So it's working on your mindset is a daily thing. Don't ever think that the people that are successful don't deal with it too. The only difference is that they have overcome some of it, and they chose to run blindly and just continue to follow their dreams. But this mindset piece is a hot mess. You have to work at it every day. And this is coming from somebody who battled it and sometimes still battles it every now and then. You know what I mean? So it's just one of them things that you really have to be on your guard, because
Yep.
you cannot always still stay in the same circumstances and situations that are on your level or beneath you. The reason why, because you have nothing to grow up to. Like, you have to be around people that you look up to, like, man, I want to get to that place. You have to read books. You have to join yourself in different groups, because when you sit by yourself and you try to do everything yourself and change your mind by yourself, it don't work like that. It just don't work like that.
Yep. Yep. And it's dope that you said that. Years ago, I heard this story about this guy named Roger Bannister, which was a track star. And he ran the 4 minute mile. 4 minute mile he ran.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else had did it before him. But after he did that, high school kids started doing 4 minute miles. I think even at this point, middle school kids is able to do it because they saw proof that it could be done. So y'all, the game she giving y'all is so vital and so rich. Because as you surround yourself with other successful people, as you surround yourself with people talking the same talk that you're trying to advance yourself to, then you're going to get there. But you cannot be like this person sitting in the closet hoping and wishing and praying that everything happened for you. Like, you got to tap into the resources that are around you. So yes, get a coach, get somebody that's going to help you get to the next level, no matter what you do. Like, you could be learning how to change a tire better. Get somebody that's going to help you, give you some game, some of the stuff that they learned, some of the things to avoid, and next thing you know, you get to the next level. But in this writing game, it's not easy, y'all, especially when you're on this island all by yourself. So then you think people hating on you, you think it's the enemy distracting you. No, maybe you need to take your notifications off on Instagram and Facebook and
Yep.
Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok and Tumblr and all these other ones. Like, how are you expecting to get to the next level and to finish this book, which for some of y'all you've been working on for the past 10 years? Let's just go ahead and be honest. Let's be honest. It's been 10 years since you've been writing the book, and you said to yourself years ago, man, God told me to write this book, and I'm going to get this book out. And what's been going on for the past 10 years? Oh, it's just been the enemy. He's been distracting me. No, that chicken been distracting you. That notifications been distracting you, your friendships. And listen, sometimes it's the wrong people in our circle. You alluded to that, Kandra. Can you talk about that piece?
So I was going to jump in real quick, because and again, when I say the enemy, I hate talking about it because it sounds like I'm giving him glory, but I'm not. But this is the truth. Everybody has an assignment on their life, right? From God. Everybody has an assignment. But the enemy also has assignments. So one of his assignments is to get you off your beaten path. He will send somebody or some people in your life to derail your assignment.
Yeah.
It is up to you to pay attention, right? And again, we choose, we have the power of life or death, right, in our tongue. So we choose to speak what we want to see. We choose to have our life guided the way it needs to be guided. We see red sign, we see red flags. We see this person come in our life. We know that it's probably not the best thing, but because they have some of the attributes that we like, whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's just a friendship, whether we want to feel a part of a family, be loved, we invite these things and these people in our lives, and years can be shaved off. I'm speaking that because I'm a witness. I am currently going through a divorce right now, and I speak this on my platform, so it's not a secret and people know because God wants me to share. I allowed years, and this is why I can speak this so fluently and, with no regret. I allowed years to be taken from my life. And I saw my life on a certain path at that time, and thank God for his redemption and that he makes our latter better than our former. But I saw my life at this, I was on a roll, I was moving and I was shaking, but then slowly but surely, I started seeing confidence being chipped away. My confidence, I started seeing certain things, certain levels and certain people that I was supposed to be with. I started seeing them being removed because I had this toxicity in my life. And I allowed it to go on so long because, as women, we like to nurture things. We want our family. We like to hold on to things. But little did I know that it was an assignment being sent to me to cut my legs off pretty much because I had people to reach. So there were some things that I had to go through in order, and still are going through, in order to get where I need to get. But I thank God that I'm in such a better place right now. And things are looking back up the way they do. So I'm open to speak about this because I believe that our testimonies help other people and it makes us better. So even going through that situation, it made me even a better writer. This is why I answered the call to start teaching authors. God actually just put this in my spirit in November, because before this, I was teaching hairstylists how to create digital products and create programs. And one, I was on my way I was leaving Trader Joe's, getting some groceries for the house. And I was in the car and God said, I want you to put on Facebook, who wants to write their ebook in 30 days? I was like, okay, I put it on there. Me, nonstop. Within days, the class was packed out. It was sold out. I couldn't take no more. From there, I started building. Like, this is why it's so important to be obedient and listen and take charge when you hear stuff. Because from there, it's just like I've been getting crowds of authors. The other day, I put a post on and I got over 100. Matter of fact, I think we up to almost 200 authors responding. I just put a simple post. How many authors want to collab together and do lives and podcasts together? Me. I had to put everybody in the group. I had to do my own group. So that the fruit is there when it happens like that. That's why you have to be obedient and listen. But let me tie this back together.
Yeah.
I tied it back together, going through this divorce and going through the separation and my husband leaving me with a 7-year-old and all that stuff. Going through that really put some fire in me to listen. People need you. We got to get this thing moving. So I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah.
I hope I wasn't all over the place.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. And I think that, that kind of touched back onto the part about what we are going through. That can't stop you. And you got to realize that your gift is going to make room for you. Your gift can make you rich. Your gift can make you prosperous. Now, sometimes people are like, you know what? I'm not interested in being a billionaire, millionaire. I just really want to be abundant. I want to be able to go to the store, buy whatever I want. And honestly, that was that point that I got to a few years ago. My goal was to get to the point where I didn't have to look at bills and be concerned about them. That I could just be like, here, the bills is paid, I'm done. But there was an affirmation that I had that started helping me, which was, my bills are paid with wonderful ease. So I had to kind of get into that programming that I grew up with all this poverty stricken and poverty mindset and being anxious about money. I had to switch the game up. I had to say all my bills are paid with wonderful ease all the time, so I'm good. But wherever you are, whatever you want to do, you got to use that gift that he gave you. Stop playing with it. And the more time you waste, it's going to be the more time somebody else is just sitting there in a mess, hoping and wishing that somebody finally shows up to give them their breakthrough.
Man.
But at some point, you got to be the hero of your own story. No, listen, Kandra can be the guide. She's an amazing author coach. I can help you with brand development, but at some point, you got to show up for your own life and say, I'm going to be the hero of this story. We can guide you, but you got to show up and you got to be the hero because somebody is counting on you to save the day. But you keep being so nervous and scared. Well, I can't do the live video, Manny. My makeup isn't done. My nails aren't done. Don't even have my feet done. Listen, ain't nobody looking at your feet, okay? You don't have to get your feet done for the live video. Stop tripping. But all these other ancillary things, listen, y'all, this is like my vision board in the back. So I got my son, I got pictures, I got $50,000 in a month in sales. These are all things that is a part of my story, a part of my journey that inspires me. This is my background for the live video. It ain't the best, dopest in the whole world, but guess what? It works for me. This is what I want you guys to do. Just show up. If you start showing up, you will start seeing your life change.
I want to add that when you said you don't have to be perfect showing up. Look, I'm very transparent, y'all. So I was supposed to be on here at 10 and I inboxed Manny. I said, listen, I'm going to be a couple minutes late, right? Because I had to take my son to camp this morning. So my day got kind of behind. I ain't had my wig on. I ain't had no makeup on. When I text you, I ain't had nothing on. I was like, oh, shoot. So I had to go grab something out the closet, put these glasses on because my face greasy. I ain't get a chance to put the shirt on. And we here. Now, if I would have let that stop me, I'd be like, well, Manny, I can't make it today. Y'all gonna get me greasy, grandma glasses, and the wig tilted today. When y'all be on Instagram tomorrow, it's gonna be a whole nother story. But today, y'all gonna get it. You had to show up. That's
you gotta get it. You gotta get it. That's a great example. But you look just fine, sis.
Thank
you look absolutely great. Don't even worry about that. But you know, funny story, one time I showed up, did a live video when someone had invited me to go with them. I had just got out of the shower. I noticed that I had shaving cream on both of my ears. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm trying to wipe it off, but it's just like you do what you gotta do. Like the people that you don't think understand, they understand, y'all. You're a human being. Some of the dopest videos, I said this yesterday, some of the dopest videos I've seen on YouTube, people got clothes in the back, they kitchen junky, they got dishes they ain't put up. But after a while, you're not even paying attention to their background. You're paying attention to them, especially if they're giving you useful information, y'all. So let's get out of our own way.
Yes.
How can we use video to kind of tell our story and get people excited about our projects?
You asking me or you?
Yeah, Kandra. Yeah.
Oh. Oh my God, video is amazing. I'm gonna share. When Facebook Live first came out, I think it was 2017. I was on Periscope before that. But in my industry, I was one of the first ones to come out on Facebook Live, me and like 2 other hair coaches. So long story short, I started gaining a large following because I showed up when I say every day, when you put your phone on, who you see? You seen me. I would come on 30 single morning, like 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And when you show up, Pete, you start to build authority. Yeah. And this is how you get they ask how you get your brand out or how you get your
Yeah. Just working on your project, your story, all that.
When you show up live, you have to really be authentic. And just how I'm sharing with y'all with the wig story and the divorce story, I am being myself. I'm not trying to sit here and say, okay, Manny, today. No, you have to be yourself. And once people start getting a feel for who you are, and they like, oh, she's cool or he's cool, they're being themselves. This is how you start to build your brand. This is how you start to build your following, in your tribe, because they resonate with you. Remember, people don't buy products, they buy you. Yeah. So when you build your personal brand and you start telling your story, your authentic story, people will start to say, oh my God, that sounds like me. Oh my God, that's me. And then they will resonate with you and they will follow you and buy the socks off of your feet. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Right. So it's really not about the thing that you're selling. It's about you being, you being you. So that's pretty much how I would say, just Just show up. I mean, some people create schedules. Some people just show up when they have something to say. You have to know what works for you, but you just have to know that you have to be consistent in whatever you do and however you lay it out. Because when you start letting people down, I went through that too. I went through a time where I was very consistent and then I just fell off the face of the earth. And then when you try to come back and build your story, now you have to try to gain people's trust again. Because remember, we're in this know, like, and trust thing. And if people can't trust you, yeah, they like you as a person, but at the end of the day, they're not going to spend their money with you because they like, she's not stable, he's not stable, so I'm going somewhere else. But I'll, you know, if they need help, I got them. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
just be yourself, be authentic, share your authentic story. Remember, you got to do it ugly. It's not going to be perfect. And as you perfect your craft and as you continue to do it, you'll find your natural rhythm and flow, and it'll be easier for you. That's all I can say about that.
No, that's great information, and I strongly believe that every single one of us has a story. Like every single one of us, you might be somebody that's in love with the Ninja Turtles. You need to start you a podcast, write you a book about the Ninja Turtles, and push that boy out because people get excited about stuff that you might not feel that everybody would be excited about, and you're right. That's why everybody doesn't go to Walmart, even though they're getting billions and billions of dollars every year. You might not like it, but somebody does.
Somebody
So
does.
so put your story out there, whether you're talking to single moms, whether you're talking to married couples, whether you're talking to men, you're talking about business, you're talking about stocks. Get that story out there. Well, Manny, nobody wants to hear it. I don't even know that much. The little bit that you know is way more than a lot of people know.
Yes. And that imposter syndrome is something.
Yeah.
Because people don't think they know enough, but you have to understand. Let's say we have 3 levels, A, B, and C. Let's say you are on level B, but you desire to be on level C, but the imposter syndrome is telling you, well, you're not on level C, so you don't have anything to give. Well, that person on level A that comes before B, they need what you have. They can't get to level C before they pass B. So you are at B, so you need to give them A. So you have to know I don't care if you're cleaning toilets. There's somebody thinking about opening up a cleaning business that needs to know how to clean toilets. They're not going to go to the person that just started the business and didn't know anything about it. They're going to go to you at level B because you know how to get behind you know how to do. So you, and whatever you know, somebody else needs it.
And that's all factual. This is why companies like Home Depot, Lowe's exist. It's for the people that love to do DIY. They want to do it themselves. Yes, they could hire a contractor to do it, but they're like, you know what? I'm going to watch a couple YouTube videos. I'm going to go buy these materials and I'm going to figure this thing out. This is why creating stuff like courses and ebooks is essential for your brand to grow and for your money to grow. You want that bag to grow. You thinking of some other streams. Why not create other streams outside of the gift you already have? So instead of you trying to be a credit person and an author coach, and I do real estate, and I can teach you about finances, and I can teach you how to mow the lawn. Like, these is way too many things for you to act like you're an expert in. Like, most of the time you've heard this. A jack of all trades is a master of none. Like, how can you be a master? How can you be Mr. Miyagi helping Karate Kid if you know everything? Mr. Miyagi wasn't trying to teach him all these different things. So listen, this is what I know from my experience and my expertise, and I'm going to give you this game. Package that gift out. Listen, you can be a coach, you can be a speaker, you can be an author, you can be a writer, you can collab on other projects with people, you can have your podcast all out of one gift. Can you please tell them how many different gifts they can be bringing out from that one thing, that one thing? Come on.
I want you to think of it like this. Think about a house, right? So you have the source. The house is the source. I'm going to just use a salon because this is what I talk about. Think about you have a salon. The salon is the one source. Think about all the different streams that you can get from that salon. The chair is one stream. Your tips is another stream. Your retail is another stream. Memberships that you create is another stream. That all comes from that one source. Take a book, an author. You write one book. You can become a coach from that book because now you can create your coaching curriculum from this book. You can have a membership program from this book. You can become a speaker from this book. So many, like you can create 10 to 12 and even more different streams from one source. So you don't, I know Toro is on Instagram. I know real estate. I know trucking is all we see it and it sounds good. People are flexing, doing their thing. But you don't, it doesn't mean that you have to be a part of that. If that is not your gift at the moment, it's not saying you can't add that later, but utilize the gift that you have now, operate in that gift, because your gift will make room for you. Your gift will bring wealth to you. You can create wealth from that one gift to get you to the place where you don't really have to operate it in it as heavy anymore. And you can go do the real estate, go do the trucking, go do the Airbnb. That's wonderful. But when you have too many things that you are focusing on, your mind gets jumbled. It's called the shiny object syndrome. Like you said, a jack of all trades, a master of none. Focus on that one thing until successful, and then start adding. And remember, you can add while you're focusing on the one thing, as long as it's connected to that source. So that's what I'm looking at.
No, I absolutely love it. All right, no, as we get out of here, do you have any closing words, any closing remarks?
I do. Number one, everybody should become an author. And I am biased about that, because I do believe that we all should leave something behind. I believe that your children and your grandchildren and your grandchildren's children should be able to pick up a book and say, my great grandmother wrote that, or my grandmother wrote that. And even your children, everybody should have a form of a book, whether it be in ebook format, whether it be in paperback, hardback, but everybody should have one or several books. If you need help with it, I am here. I have a lot of services in my company. I have a team. We create your outlines for you. We actually set your entire book up for you. All you have to do is drop and drag. So you definitely can connect with me in my DM, or you can click the link in my bio and set up a call with me. So I'm here for you. But I would just say, in addition to that, everybody needs a book. And a point of wisdom: get to yourself and really focus on what it is you're here for. Because we all have an expiration date. And in these internet streets, it can be challenging. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it can be challenging. The shiny object syndrome is definitely real. But I would say, figure out who you are, figure out who you were born to be, figure out the talents and gifts that God has put in you. And I want to share this really quickly. I don't want to hold you up.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
If your parents were paying attention enough, whoever raised you, if they were paying attention enough, God showed them what your gifts were. If you think back to when you were 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you were actually operating in your gifts. It just didn't come into fruition yet, right? It didn't manifest yet. God was building that up in you throughout the duration of your growing years. I'm going to give you an example. When I was younger, the 2 gifts that I had from age 3 was doing hair, reading, and writing. I'm not the most amazing writer. My punctuation sometimes be wrong. My commas be in the wrong place. My parentheses. But that's the gift that God has given me. 3 years old, I was sitting behind my pop-pop in a chair. My mom would drop me off when she went to work. My grandma was a homemaker, so she would be cooking breakfast. My pop-pop was retired. He would smoke his cigar, had his cup of gin or corn liquor, whatever was in that cup. He would have his paper. He would hum for hours. And I would sit behind him for hours with a comb, with the missing teeth, a brush, and a jar of Vaseline, and that blue grease, the blue magic back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that blue magic. Yeah.
And I would part his hair in nice, clean parts, and I would put the blue magic on it and twist it. He would sit there and let me do it. That was my first client. That was a gift because I was so intrigued by that. I didn't play with baby dolls much. I would do hair. Secondly, I would read a lot of books and I would write. I would get construction paper, staple them together, and create books for like my mom. Thirdly, I would sit this baby doll named Crystal I had. I'm almost done. I would sit this baby doll named Crystal that I had. She had a missing eye, but she was one of those real looking baby dolls back in the day. I would teach her. It would just be me and her. And I'd be like, okay, class, today. And I would sit there and teach her. Now, I was very shy. Wouldn't talk to big crowds, but I would teach her like she was a full class. Fast forward, God puts me in the beauty industry. I'm working over thousands of women. I'm helping women in their marriage, women sitting in my chair crying. Y'all follow this because this is helping somebody. Women are in their chair crying. Some people getting ready to get a divorce. Some people having a child. God would sit women in my chair that just got beat up. People would come in my chair with black eyes, getting ready to call them. husbands, all this crazy mess. Fast forward, God was using me to minister to them. I didn't know that I would be here, but God was using me to minister to them. And this whole time I'm thinking my life is just going to be doing hair. I had no clue I become a global educator. I had no clue I'd be standing on the stages that I stand on now. Around for years. So now that I'm not in the industry anymore, he was preparing me. He showed me my gifts since I was little. Y'all follow me? I didn't know I was going to be an author like that, but I loved writing. I didn't know God was going to put me in for 27 years, but I was. And now this is the third season, the third part of the gifts that he manifests. So you just got to pay attention to how when people say, I don't know what I'm put here to do, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you do. Go back. I just took you back to mine. Go back to yours. You will say, oh, I was the loudest one in the class. I did get in trouble for speaking my mind all the time. Mm-hmm. That was the gift that God put in you, but maybe your parents or whoever raised you didn't know how to hone that at the time. My parents honed it because they bought me a swivel chair and allowed me to do hair up in my room when I was in school. So I was able to hone that and then become a successful salon owner. So you see where I'm going with this? If you are here today and saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you do. Go back and recall. Go back to your family. So what was my personality at 3? What did I like to do at 5? And you start jotting it down and it'll all come to you. Oh, this is why such and such. So that just helps somebody. So that's it.
That's good. That's good. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. Afterwards, it's going to be up on my page. I'm going to tag Kandra, so it'll also be on her page. But I want y'all to go back to watch the live from the beginning for those that have just jumped on, and y'all comment and engage on it, talk to each other about it, because this is the type of discussion that can literally take your business, your brand, your book project to the next level. Y'all click that arrow right at the top and go follow her. Come follow me if y'all not already following us. Let's go to the next level together. I will talk to y'all soon. Peace and blessings.